Hi, I'm Ron Harper. Welcome to the Green Valley Camera Club, where we'll teach you to be a friend to your camera.
Who's ready to party? It's your birthday, it's your birthday, it's your birthday. Who birthday is it? It's your birthday, it's your birthday, it's your birthday. Who birthday is it? It's your birthday, it's your birthday, it's your birthday. Who birthday is it? It's your birthday, it's your birthday, it's your birthday. Who birthday is it? It's another year, and we're ready to party.
Thanks for joining us as we take a walk down memory lane to celebrate the 50th anniversary of what we now know as the GVR Photography Club. When we actually got started as a club is the subject of some debate. We came across this certificate and letter from the Photographic Society of America, recognizing the Green Valley Camera Club for 25 years of continuous membership in PSA. We reached that 25-year milestone in 1999, meaning the club must have been around since 1974. The first set of bylaws we were able to find was dated 1975, but Green Valley Recreation wasn't formed until 1978. The club's bylaws were changed in 1979 to align us with GVR. There are other records that show the club was formed in 1978. That said, we're either 2 years behind or 3 years ahead, depending on how you do the calendar math. We decided to average it out and make 2026 our year to celebrate. We ran across the oldest surviving minutes from the Green Valley Camera Club Board of Directors meeting dated December 1977. Sadly, they were written in a little-known language known as cursive, so no one's been able to translate them into English. The club was founded with 10 members, and membership hovered between 75 and 135 members for the remainder of the 20th century. Then something magical happened. The first Canon Rebel digital camera was released in 2003. According to some of our long-standing members, GVR residents started receiving digital cameras from their kids and grandkids as presents and didn't have a clue how to use them. The digital revolution sparked a rise in club membership as the club became the go-to place for people to learn all about their new cameras. The high watermark was achieved in 2010 with 1,173 members. We are among the largest clubs in GVR and one of the largest and most prominent local photography clubs in the entire United States. From our research, we found that Jean Comarmi is the longest-standing active club member. The October 1996 club roster lists Jean along with 93 other club members. Congratulations, Jean. The GVR Camera Club was located in an 850 square foot space in the East Social Center for more than 30 years. It consisted of one meeting room and a small studio and chemical darkroom. At one point, GVR threatened the club with the loss of the darkroom due to its limited use. Photos from the early 2000s showed classes and workshops being conducted outside by the East Center pool. Perhaps it was nicer outside, or maybe it was out of necessity, given the club's cramped quarters. That started to change in the early 2000s with the digital photography revolution. In May 2006, the unfinished space at Santa Rita Springs was first discussed. 3 conditions were necessary for the club to acquire the new space at the Springs. The club would have to share space in what would become the Kino Room. The club would be expected to provide cash or furniture and fixtures, and the club would need the residents of Santa Rita Springs to accept the club's use of the facility. By March 2007, the estimated cost, excluding furniture and fixtures, was $150,000. And GVR required the club to make a 25% down payment before any construction could begin. That prompted a major fundraising effort. The goal was to raise at least $66,000. By October 2007, the club was able to contribute over $31,000 to GVR for construction of the improvements. While construction was underway, the club began buying and storing furniture and equipment. If you look around the club, you'll be amazed that almost everything the club bought 20 years ago is still in use today. Located right next door, the club considered the Kino room its main classroom. The agreement with GVR was that the Camera Club would have top priority for scheduling events in the Kino room. Any remaining time would be available to GVR. In addition to the Kino room, the new facility included a hands-on classroom accommodating 12 students with their own computers, a digital darkroom for printing, editing, and scanning, a room for matting and framing and photo studio activities, and a reception area. Overall, the new facility was 3 times larger than the East Center location and would better accommodate the club's more than 800 members. The club moved into its new dedicated space in February 2008. For the next 12 years, the club remained an active place, largely unaffected by world events. No one could have predicted just how significantly the COVID-19 pandemic would affect us. Following an emergency meeting on March 4, 2020, GVR announced the closure of all 13 recreation centers. Initially slated to last for at least 2 weeks, reopening of GVR facilities and clubs occurred in fits and starts as the pandemic ebbed and surged for over a year. For the GVR Camera Club, the immediate effect was a shuttering of the club's facilities and cancellation of all in-person events. Since the club's dedicated space was not available, the club's board voted to provide free membership throughout 2021. If you think that meant the club was doing nothing, think again. The pandemic got the creative juices flowing. By June, Jean Camarmi was leading the Multimedia SIG, and Sandy Ostroff was holding the Advanced Studio and Fine Arts Photography SIG, all by using Zoom. In fact, Zoom became the club's standard means of engagement for well over a year. Chuck Hill even arranged a virtual potluck dinner in conjunction with a Showtime presentation to replace the club's traditional get-together. In addition to Zoom-based classes and SIGs, the club continued to help members develop their skills by directing them to online resources such as YouTube and internet-based classes on Android and iPhone photography. Linda Gregory encouraged members to have fun by documenting their activities and submitting those images for a stuck-at-home slideshow. Field trips to birding and nature hotspots and other outdoor locations resumed as soon as social distancing requirements could be observed, giving the members a chance to get out and enjoy the outdoors again. After 15 months of closure and several false starts, the club finally reopened on July 12, 2021. As noted previously, the Kino room was an integral part of the Camera Club for almost 15 years. The club considered the Kino room its principal classroom and a major event space. All that changed in May 2022 when GVR announced the Computer Club would be moving from its 4,000 square foot space on the first floor at Santa Rita Springs, its home for 20 years, to the 900 square foot Kino room to make room for the Glass Arts Club. Things moved quickly following that announcement. The doors between the Camera Club and the Kino room were removed, the doors walled in, and the Kino room reconfigured over the summer months to support the Computer Club's needs. This change prompted Camera Club President Danny Valenzuela to establish a design review committee to assess trends in photography, envision what activities we would be able to support going forward, and determine our club members' expectations. From that, the committee was charged with recommending changes in the club's layout to provide the necessary functionality and flexibility. By right-sizing the number of Windows-based computers and flatbed scanners, we moved all of the remaining workstations from the digital darkroom to the Ansel Adams room, which has since become today's photo lab. We converted what had been the digital darkroom into today's large classroom, supporting the club's many classes, workshops, and special interest groups. We moved the photo studio and its equipment to the large classroom, where there's ample space to set up for various shooting scenarios. This move also provided, for the very first time, a dedicated space for matting and framing activities. Following a major house cleaning, we relocated the club's storage to the back half of the matting room. That enabled us to turn what had been wasted space into today's Ansel Adams room. The camera club was completely repainted and, except for the kitchen, mat room, and storage room, fully carpeted, significantly improving the club's appearance and acoustic qualities. Installation of sconce lights and other electrical modifications were made to fully support the new layout. In a major development, the GVR Board of Directors approved a $36,000 funding request that enabled all remaining redesign work to be completed. The Computer Club offered their excess furniture and equipment to the Camera Club, and we took full advantage of their offer to support the new layout. The redesign project was completed in August 2023, and we hosted a combined open house with the Computer Club in December to celebrate and showcase the club's new layout.
Hello, I'm Howard Benedict. Do you have a digital camera that you don't fully understand? Does it have picture dials on it and buttons and menu screens, even a manual that's written in computer English? Well, we're the experts here at the Camera Club. This is the place to learn.
The club's focus has always been on education, in keeping with the club's basic purpose, promoting and developing skills in photography for its members. Whether it's through our classes, workshops, special interest groups, or one-on-one assistance, the objective is to help members take full advantage of their equipment. The club began offering classes on all aspects of digital photography in 2003. What started as a 12-week course, where participants had to pay for a binder filled with course handouts, became a free event for club members in 2016. We've gone from providing students with binders containing printed course materials, to handing out CDs, to digitized course material, and our focus has evolved over time to meet the ever-changing needs of our members.
So after you learn all about your camera and how to take great pictures, where do you go from there? Well, there are many activities at the club where you can hone your skills.
Virtually everything we do in the club is intended to provide members with opportunities to improve their skills in taking photos and videos, and in building their expertise in post-production techniques. So, how did some of the club activities get their start? Here's our best guess. In 1980, GVR asked the club to arrange a monthly slideshow during the summer, with participants charged the usual donation of $1. The club would receive any earnings above the cost of refreshments and actually earn $200 that season. From such humble beginnings, the club planted the seed for Showtime and Travelogue. These events give our members a fantastic opportunity to show off their multimedia presentation skills. In 1994, the club and GVR discussed having a permanent display at the West Center. This solidified a long-standing tradition of exhibiting our members' photographs at major GVR centers, as well as on the club's Facebook page and on our large screen monitor. It also gives members an excuse to learn printing and matting and framing to get their photos ready for exhibition. In November 1994, books donated by Charles Hilgendorf on various phases of photography were made available to members to use in the old East Center studio until a lending system could be devised. This was the apparent start of today's excellent reference library. The first meeting of the Green Valley Camcorder Club was held in January 1995. By 1996, the Camcorder Club had morphed into a SIG and was providing instruction on the use of background sound with video. The camcorder SIG evolved over the years to become today's multimedia SIG. In 1999, a scavenger hunt was first proposed to publicize the club, attract new members, and simply have fun. Having fun is one of the most effective ways for people to get comfortable with their photography equipment and to learn innovative things to do with photos and videos. From taking part in the club's many field trips, to producing and directing your own movie, to creating a really cool green screen cycling adventure, the club is always looking for fun and interesting ways to encourage our shutterbugs.
I take them on a lot of different field trips. We've done things like roller derby. I've gone to several ranches. I have a mystery trip every year for them. Can't tell you where it is because I'd have to kill you.
Among the most popular things the club has always offered to its members are the many field trips we conduct each year. Field trips provide a fantastic opportunity for members to get out and hone their picture-taking skills, compare notes, and learn about the area while getting to know one another. The club has always been an active member of the community. The Camera Club planned and organized photographic support for the Green Valley Senior Games for most of its 35-year run, including a slideshow that was presented at the awards luncheon. In 2017, over 50 events featuring over 900 participants were covered by club photographers. Sadly, the Senior Games became a victim of COVID-19 and faded away. Likewise, the Country Fair White Elephant Parade, an annual tradition for 50 years, which the Camera Club supported with photo and video coverage, was discontinued in 2021. The club covered the Rose Society of Green Valley's annual Rose Festival and organized a World War II Veterans Project with the goal of photographing every Green Valley resident who served in that war. The club and its members continue to provide photographic and multimedia support for special events, as well as local civic and nonprofit organizations. The opportunity to serve others and the spirit of volunteerism are defining characteristics of the Green Valley area, and one of the key things that make our community and our club so special. Before it went digital, the club's newsletter was mailed out to its members. Imagine the fun licking and sticking all those stamps. The newsletter was named Panorama in 1997 and retained that name as the newsletter transitioned from a mailing to a web-based product. Today, you can keep up with club activities on our website, on our Facebook page, and through our monthly newsletter. Much has changed over the club's 50-year history. We've moved from one recreation center to another. We've changed our logo. We've even changed our name. But what really changed was the nature of photography. When the club was founded, the only way to take pictures was with a film camera. In those days, you had at most 36 shots before you had to rewind and change your roll of film. Each shot had to be carefully staged because every shot was precious. And just try stopping a sporting event or a wedding while you change rolls. Until you got the film developed, you had no idea how your shots turned out. And you were limited in what you could do with those photographs and how you could share your photos with others. With digital photography, you can review your photo immediately, enabling you to make changes on the fly. A single memory card stores thousands of high-resolution images, so you can shoot to your heart's content. In addition to still images, modern digital devices enable you to record high-definition audio and video, an impossibility with film cameras. And with app-based smartphones, you almost always have a digital device in your pocket or purse. With digital, you have almost unlimited creative flexibility using post-production software. And digital images can easily be stored and readily shared with anyone on the planet. With today's technology, old photographs, slides, film, and videotapes can be easily converted into a digital format. Once you've gone digital, post-production software can breathe new life into photos and videos that just a few years ago would be discarded as unusable. In fact, most of the vintage photographs used in this presentation were significantly enhanced using AI software. In the transition from film to digital photography and videography, perhaps the most remarkable achievement is our ability to tell stories using multimedia techniques.
And I'm Dwight Howard. I'm from Kinston, North Carolina. We invented the tobacco transplant system that is known today to grow tobacco transplants in greenhouses with seedlings. From there, it just spread worldwide, and we've been in it 45 years in that end of it, and we've had a great ride, made a little money, kept most of it, or tried to, invested it in real estate. I'm still working at 78 years old. Been pretty much all around the world chasing tobacco systems and farmers. So I tell people I'm in the tobacco business, a farmer. So it's been a great ride, and I've enjoyed every bit of it.
If you were Dwight, would you rather be remembered as a lifeless, faded old photograph tucked away in an album or shoebox? Or would you rather be remembered as a living, breathing person who's led an interesting life with many fascinating stories to tell? For the record, Dwight shared this full 4-minute legacy video with all his family and friends. With the almost daily advances in automated intelligence, who knows what tomorrow will bring? One thing is certain. Just as film taking and filmmaking have changed over the past 50 years, the GVR Photography Club has been constantly evolving and will continue to do so as we continue our amazing journey. We're looking forward to seeing what the next 50 years have in store for us all. But for now, let's celebrate.